This video is King Sago seed planting. I made the video to be able to teach you how to use the method I use in planting sago seeds that generate very high germination rates. In this video you'll learn how to prepare the seed, what you plant it in, how you plant it in, what size pot you plant it in, and you will see seedlings that are 6 months old and 18 months old in this video. I'd like to start with the first method of doing this, and first thing you do is you take your seed from storage and you soak them for 24 hours in water, and you prepare the potting soil that you will be using. It's actually the media that you use to germinate your seed in. You start out by using a mixture of perlite. Perlite is readily available. I use 50% of that. I use pre-wet peat moss. I mix that in there. I will mix this up later. The size pots you'll use to do the planting in later will be a 4-inch pot, and as deep as you can get it. You can see this, and here's about 5 inches in depth. And I'll mix this mixture up here of the perlite and peat moss. The other media you can plant in is coarse river sand, and you use the coarse river sand, 50% of that and 50% peat moss. The drawback for using that it requires a little bit more watering than this mixture here, because this holds more water, drains quite well. So in the next video I'll have this mixed up. I'll have it in the pots, and I'll show you how to plant the plants into the soil and how do you care for the plant. Welcome back. I've got my soil mixed up. This is half peat moss and half perlite. It's a very good mixture. What I do is I will be potting this up in a 4-inch pot. This plant, when it germinates and starts growing, you'll stay in this pot for over a year, maybe a year and a half. So I want to start filling up my pots, and what I do is I fill them up, pack them down. I want to bring them all the way up to the top like this. I've got them filled up to the top like this, and what I'll do is take the seed, and they've been soaking for 24 hours. And what you want to do is you want to plant them flat, on the flat side. If you drop this seed on the ground, it'll fall on the flat side, just like they are in my hand here. And what I will do, I will take the seed and I will force it into the soil a little over 50% of the way, and I'll firm up the soil around this seed like that. I'll plant the other one, take the seed flat side down, I push it in here. I actually push it a little bit more than halfway down because this soil will shrink away from the seed with time. You put these in a nice shaded place where it has partial sun, and you keep them watered. It may take 6 months for these plants to seed to germinate and start growing. You want to keep them where they're wet, but not in between waters. You want to let the soil almost dry out, and then you water them again. You don't want to waterlog your plant, and because that may cause rot of the seed. So keeping them damp, keeping them out of the full sun is a good idea. And again, they will stay in these pots for approximately up to 18 months 2 years even. The pot size that you choose in this is, as you can see, is about a couple inches on each side. The sago plant loves to be root bound. Always remember it rather be in a smaller pot than a bigger pot. And as you can see in the other plants, these are seedlings that I have transplanted up. It's about a 1 inch, and I have it in about a 5.5 inch pot here, as you can see right here. Thank you for this clip that I'm showing you, and what I want you to do is look at the next couple clips. The next clip shows where I mass plant in one big flat. If you only have a few seeds, it's better to plant them in this plant here, and you bypass the transfer of the seedling into its individual pot. So if you have a few seeds, this is the best method. I've achieved 98%, 95% was my best germination of my seed. I have also achieved, to my dislike, a 75% germination. Typically you read in the literature people that have poor germination rates in the 30% to 40%, 50%, and if you use this method here, you should have more success. Thank you. This is a bed of seedlings that I've had planted about 6 months ago, and I'd like to show you the examples of how deep they're planted and what they look like when they come up. I'm going to get up close and get you an example. This one shows the seed has a stem coming out the bottom of it, going down, puts the taproot, and then it puts this little stem up. And here's another one right here showing the same thing. When they first come out of the seed, they're paler green, as you can see in this example, and the ones that are older, that has been sprouted longer, they have this color here. Let me find another good example. Here's one here that's right here is one here that has just now put its taproot down, and before long it will be putting up a spike, which will become the first frond. It sits up one stem, and after a week or 2, 3, it will start looking like a frond. It first starts out just like a hard little spike, and this is about the depth. Probably we're planting a little bit deeper, but as it weathers, the level of soil is pulled away from this seed. But this is the way they sprout in nature. These seedlings are about 1.5 years old. This next summer I'll be taking them out. They'll be about 2 years old when I take them out of this bed, and they'll be a little bit taller than this, get another half a year of growing season on them. I'd like to show you that as I look in here, the ones that have germinated and growing, you can see some of the seed in here, and as you see, the seed is still attached to these even after 1.5 years. They'll start falling off on the ones that are pretty big, but I'd like to show you that it's important to keep that seed on the plant, because it gives it a lot of resources for it to grow. And what I'll do when I take these plants out, I'll take them out this pan here, and I will take a water hose and a fork, pulling them out with. The fork is, you know, like a spade, a little shovel to dig the dirt out, and I'll wash all of the dirt off the root before I plant it into its pot. These will be going into the pot in about 6 months, their individual pot, and they will go into a pot that's about 4 inches in diameter. See you at the next clip.